Hello everyone, Serene here, as usual, because I don't know who else would be running this channel that is named Serene. But today we're going to be talking about Hecate, the Greek goddess of witchcraft, magic, the three crossroads, choices, and spells. Now I don't know about you, but I know what I think every time I hear about her, and I think she is the mother of goth. Like, everything gothic, and like, when that was a whole thing in 2005 because of Evanescence, I think Evanescence was secretly sent by Hecate to start that movement. Because that's who she is. That's her whole thing. But, I think she's pretty cool, personally. She doesn't have a lot of myths about her, because she's kind of a lesser-known goddess. But one fun fact, she's not actually a goddess. She's just an honorary goddess. She was originally a titan, but she didn't side with Kronos at all because she thought he was absolutely bonkers, because he was, and she helped the gods. And because of that, she was the only titan, I think, that was allowed to still keep all of her, like, gifts and magic and all of her, like, fun little features and still help the mortals and still interact with everyone. Except for maybe, Mother Rhea. But, yeah. So that's always fun. I love it when I don't die and I get to keep all my fun business. But anyway, let's just get started. Let's just see where this goes. So, one thing about Hecate is that she actually helped Demeter find her daughter Persephone. If you haven't seen that video yet, then you can go check it out. I did a video over Persephone, but I didn't really talk much about Demeter because I wanted to talk about Persephone's side of the story. But imagine you're a mother and your daughter runs away and you can't find her. You'd freak out, unless if you're a terrible mother, in which case I recommend you don't be a parent because you suck. But anyway, so her daughter gets lost and she can't find her anywhere. Well, Hecate, of course, feels bad for her because she is one of the kind of nicer goddesses. She tries to help out, she tries to stay on their good sides, and she is technically a titan. She doesn't want to test that. So she's like, hey, because she has these two torches, they're kind of her symbol that she carries, and she's like, hey, Demeter, you can borrow my torches, I'll help you, I'll take one, you take one, we'll look for her, and we'll find her. And Demeter was like, oh, thank you, you are amazing, and I love you, and you're the best. And so, eventually, Demeter finds out from Helios that Persephone is down in the underworld with her new boo, which she was not thrilled to find out, but she always appreciated Hecate for that. And after that, Hecate actually kind of moves down the underworld to make sure Persephone's doing good, because she kind of likes it down there, because she's dark and edgy, and she is my full-on goth queen, just like Amy Lee is from Evanescence, and I love her, and my gosh, if you don't listen to Evanescence, then I'm sorry, I don't know if I can talk to you, because you're not quirky enough for me. Just kidding. But anyway, so she kind of moves down the underworld and helps. That's kind of where she lives. It's kind of her home base or whatever. Because if you're truly goth, which I am not, unfortunately, I'm not quirky enough to be truly goth. But if you're truly goth, then you want to live where there's a bunch of dead people, because it makes you feel cool and quirky and different from other girls, which is why Persephone wanted to live down there, because she wanted to be different. But Persephone was more like an emo 12-year-old who listens to My Chemical Romance. Like, Hecate is literally Amy Lee from Evanescence. So one of the things that Hecate is a goddess of is choices. And she is often represented as three, like you'll see her on a lot of Greek vases or artworks that have her in it. They often show her as three different people, because that's kind of how she's seen. But I like her more than the god of choices, Janus, because he is not nice, and he's one of those people that's like, oh, there's only two choices, it's black and white, you only have one way. And Hecate's more of like, no, there's gray, there's different varieties, you just have to look at all the options. Which, really, if you want to have a good life, you should try and look at all the options and not see everything as black and white, because it rarely is. And except for in the case of kicking puppies, you should never kick a puppy, that's evil, and you're terrible. I don't know why I thought that joke would be funny, because it's not, and Now I'm regretting my life immediately, and I'm in this hot car, and it's 100 degrees outside, and it's hot. But you know what? I love my girl Hecate, so I'm gonna push through it, and we're gonna keep making this video because she's awesome, and I love her. And have I mentioned that I love Amy Lee from Evanescence? Because I love her too, and her voice is amazing. Gosh, I need to stop talking about her. This video isn't even about her, and I'm going off on a tangent here. So one of the myths that Hecate is involved in is actually one that doesn't even have to do with her, because like I said, she's a lesser goddess. So it involves this girl named Galthinius. Yes, I know, that's a lovely name, and I love it. But I think I really like Erichthonius more, and if you agree, then you should, and you don't know who that is, then you should check out my Athena video, because I love that name, honestly. Anyway, so Galthinius, she was the, friend, she kind of grew up with Hercules' mother. Yeah. So, whenever, Hercules' mother was pregnant with Hercules, the three fates and, the goddess of birth, I forgot her name because she's not important and no one likes her, and she sucks, but they were both asked by Hera to basically to make her miserable while she's in birth, because if you don't know, Hercules was the son of Zeus, and his wife was, his mother was mortal, and it was because Zeus decided to cheat on Hera. Again, it shouldn't even be a surprise at this point, because really it's more a surprise if Zeus decides not to cheat with Hera, because he's literally terrible. He's the worst. Anyway, so Hercules is being born, and yeah, they are completely, the three fates and the goddess of birth are just completely taxing his mom with so much birthing pains. It's not funny, it sucks. She's literally going crazy. She is going insane with how bad these pains are. Imagine the worst pain you've ever felt, and it's probably worse than that because they hated her and they wanted her to die before the baby was born. So Galthinius, or however you say her name, because it's weird and I don't like it, whatever, she decides to go, and she's like, I need to save my friend, because Hercules' mother was her best friend. She loved her, she grew up with her when she was a child, and it was breaking her heart to watch her friend die, basically. She's watching her friend go crazy and die from how bad these birthing pains are. So she's like, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell the three fates and the goddess of birth that they need to stop. And she came up with this plan, and she went to go execute it. Now, if you don't know who the three fates are, quick background story. They control human life. Basically what their thing is they make this, thread, and each thread that they make represents a human life. And once they cut it, you die. So this was awful gutsy of her to go and basically try and trick them to let her friend live. She was basically willing to die for her friend. And if that's not true friendship, then I don't know what is. But anyway, let's get back to the point. So she goes, and she finds the three fates, and she finds the goddess of birth. They're all linking arms together, kind of kumbaya style, because they need to draw from each other's power to be able to make these birthing pains work. Since it is a child of Zeus, the mother kind of has extra protection, but if they all work together, nothing like teamwork, they're able to get past that protection. So they're all linking arms, and she goes, hey, I was sent here by Zeus to tell you that you aren't allowed to do this anymore, and he's gonna get in trouble. Now, if you don't know, the three fates were the daughters of Zeus and another titan named Thetis, who he ended up getting a divorce with because they had the children, the three fates, and they thought if they had any more children, the world would end. And so they made the best choice at the moment, and they decided not to get married anymore. But, they immediately freaked out and unlinked arms, and they're like, oh my gosh, Dad is mad, and now he's going to kill us. He's going to end our lives, and it's going to be bad. Imagine, the worst thing you've ever done, and when you were a kid, and you're like, my parents are going to kill me, they're going to disown me, I'm going to die. That's how they felt. And so the instant they unlinked hands and were freaking out, they were having really bad anxiety. So I think one of them was probably having a panic attack, as one does. And it was just really bad. The magic, stopped, and the birthing pain stopped on her friend, and she was able to immediately bear Hercules, and she was okay. She lived, which is what Galanthinius really wanted. She just wanted to save her friend. But the instant they stopped and they realized that this wasn't true, this was a lie, and she's immortal, they got really mad, and they're like, you messed with us, and we're gonna make you pay for it. And so they decided to turn her into a weasel. That's right, a weasel, because they said that she tricked them, and that they wanted her to spend the rest of her life in regret for what she's done, because she sucks. When really all she did was she helped her friends. So I really don't, she's not the one in the wrong in this situation, you know what I mean? Like, there might have been a moral there, like, oh, don't mess with the gods, haha. No, she was right, and they were wrong, and they were salty that they didn't get to make her friend go crazy from how much the birth hurt. Anyway, so they turned her into a weasel, and they were basically hoping she would go off into the wild and immediately die, probably by, I don't know, I bet an eagle would be poetic justice, since that's Zeus's animal, but probably not an eagle, like a tiger or something. I don't know what weasels' natural predators are. This isn't a video about weasels. It's a video about Hecate, my goth queen. Anyway, so they send her out, and then Hecate finds her, and she knows what's happened because she's a goddess. She knows what's up, and out of sympathy, because she's like, hey, all you wanted to do was help your friend, and I think that that's great. I think you're an upstanding citizen. She decided to adopt the weasel, or the polecat, or whatever you want to call it. She decided to adopt her as her own personal kind of like pet that would follow her, and make that her sacred animal. So Galanthinius got to stay with her and be safe and be warm and be well fed and not have to live in the wild and die by a tiger or bear or whatever a weasel's natural predator is. And yeah, it was just an overall wholesome story because my goth queen has a heart and she loves people and I love her. Anyway, so yeah. Whew. I just went on like a 12-minute tangent, like non-stop. And I'm a little out of breath. So that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Sorry for the shorter video, but there just aren't really a lot of myths about Hecate, and I don't want to just ramble on when I've already told you everything you need to know. That would be stupid and would waste both mine and your time. So yeah, if you like this video or these types of videos, then feel free to subscribe because I'm definitely going to be doing more in the future. I really like making them. It's a lot of fun for me. I like drawing. And I like screaming at myself in the car. So, yeah. It's a win-win for both of us, actually. Anyway, if you have any goddesses or myths you want me to talk about, then just let me know down in the comments because I'll definitely read them and I'll definitely do them. Again, I really like making these. So, yeah. It doesn't even have to be Greek. I made a Norse video. My last video was about my Norse queen, Freya. So check that out if you're interested. But I'm definitely going to be doing more Norse mythology, and I may even do Egyptian in the future. I probably won't do Roman, because it's just Walmart version Greek. But if you really want me to do a certain Roman myth, then tell me, I guess, and I'll go on a 15-minute rant about it. About the artwork really quick, this was probably my least favorite Greek goddess in the past that I drew. The sketch looked good. The first sketch, I really enjoyed it. And then when I tried to draw it on digital, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it turned out. Because I didn't like, I don't know. I tried to do 6 hands for the drawing, the original one. And I just think that was too much. I think I wasn't ready to do a full body yet. And, yeah, it just didn't go the way I wanted, but I like the way the new one turned out, and as you can see, I didn't do the two other versions of her beside her, because I realized, it's just not gonna look good if I try and push myself, too much again, if I try and do something I'm not ready for yet. So maybe in the future, I'll do a 6-handed goddess, but today is not that day, so sorry if that's what you came here to see. But anyway, thank you so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed it, and again, yeah, it's hot in here. I'm sorry. I'm starting to go off topic. So, see ya. Okay, so like I know I said the video's over, but I just wanted to point out these hands again because it's just